From the BzG studio in the Mission Dolores district, right in the heart of San Francisco, it's BzG News with Barrett Courtney.
Thank you so much all the way back over there. Thank you so much all the way up here. And thank you right here. What's up, everybody? My name is Barrett Courtney, and this is BzG News. Yes, we've been gone for a couple of weeks, and you might be thinking, wow, Barrett was really upset about that return to Arkham indefinite delay bullshit, that he didn't even do an episode last week. No, I was in Cleveland visiting friends, family, and whatnot, so we decided to take a break for BzG News, the first time that we have not done an episode since we restarted it earlier this year. But I'm back. There's plenty of news to talk about, and let's get into it. Is there any housekeeping before I got to get into the news here? I don't think so. Shout out to Ryan Kwong for making the new Talking Shit logo. If you haven't seen that, really nice. You can check that out. Watch our other show, Talking Shit. Really fun. And also, no update on Let's Plays. Let's Plays are still sort of in this weird zone. Got a new update for the software that I use. Didn't work out so well, so I'm pretty sure it's the capture card that is all sort of haywire, so got to sort of wait for me to raise up some money to get a new capture card so we can start doing Let's Plays again. So just thought I'd keep you guys up to date on that. But anyway, not much to talk about besides the news, so let's just get right into it. Since the last episode of BzG News, Pokemon Go has been released and turns the world absolutely insane with nostalgia. I don't want to reiterate what Pokemon Go is and how successful it is, as I'm plenty sure a bunch of other shows have, but what I do want to talk about is an update that should be up soon that will be adding trading to the mobile app. No official date has been given yet, but with the huge success of the app, it would make sense for Niantic Labs, the developer of the game, to get that update soon. Yeah, Pokemon Go is at full throttle. It's probably the best idea to try to get all of these updates out soon, so when it dies out, because I feel like Pokemon Go is this weird thing where it's this crazy social experience and whatnot, and I haven't touched the game because I'm not social. I'd rather just sit in my home for the rest of my life and never leave, and I'd be totally okay with that. And it's weird because it's so fucking successful, but what is there going to be any longevity towards it? Are people going to be hanging on to this thing for more than a month? And Niantic, you got to think, is thinking about those things. So they're they need to get these updates out soon, so people can still hang on and whatnot. And maybe these updates will be so crazy and revolutionary for the app that maybe more people will come on. I'm not too sure. So there you go. Pokemon Go is a fucking thing. I don't want to talk that much more about it. It's either the best thing that's ever happened to us or the worst thing that's ever happened to us. There's no in between. And we just got to let it sit for a month and see if our society has gone down the gutter because of it. But you know what? I will say this. Niantic and Nintendo, props to you guys, because it is a very social game. Not that great of a game, but I have seen a lot of posts, a lot of friends on tweets and whatnot who go out and find these fucking Pokemon and just fucking throw the ball at it. They can't even do the fucking oh, I'm gonna fight my Pokemon against this wild Pokemon to try to capture it. It's just fucking throw the ball and hopefully it'll work. But they go out and do that, and they're meeting people, and they're sharing experiences with each other. And then you have people like my girlfriend who's in Hawaii right now, texting me there's no Pokemon in my area except in this golf course, which I would have to sneak into. Should I do it? And I'd yell at her, no, don't do that. Because there's fucking the crazy people who are I'm just going to break into everywhere to fucking do this stuff. And shout out to my friend, Brianna Bozen, who I saw, a good close friend of mine, one of my oldest friends in Cleveland. And she, at her work, people would go in, and one of her coworkers was saying that there's a Pokemon in their storage room. And one of the customers was like, oh, can I go back there to get that Pokemon? It's fucking... Just because it's a fucking app and everybody's loving it doesn't excuse you from, normally participating in society. That's my thing. It's a cool social experiment and letting people making people interact with each other sort of in a way. But it's also you gotta fucking chill out, man. You can't just go into the storage room of fucking a store. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. Don't do that. Anyway, a huge piece of news. Congratulations to Hello Games for finally completing No Man's Sky. It's officially gone gold, so congrats to them. It's weird that No Man's Sky is actually happening. I'd never thought it was actually going to be a thing. And the crazy news isn't only that, No Man's Sky has gone gold. They're finally going to be able to print out these discs and send them out in about a month, I believe. I think it's August that it comes out. I could be wrong, though. I imagine it would be weirder if it was any longer than August, because why would you go gold so early and not have the game ship out soon? The crazy piece of news with No Man's Sky is that on shit, I forget the head of the studio, but the head of the Hello Games said that No Man's Sky is only 6 gigabytes on the disc, and most of it is audio. Now, this could either be really, really cool or really, really concerning. And here are my two sort of thought bubbles here. So we got the thought bubble on this side, thought bubble on this side. My good thought bubble is like, holy shit, they could possibly like figure out how to make like a really huge game, like very tiny in size. It's almost like I've only watched season 1 of Silicon Valley, and there's like that crazy moment at the end of the season where they're trying to show like that they can condense file sizes without losing absolutely any quality. It was like if you wanted to bring down like an audio thing but still have it be sort of like a lossless like audio file, like they could do that, or was it that? I don't fucking know. Something crazy like that. So it's like, did Hello Games find out how to make a game super big and have it be like a fucking tiny size? Or are we going to get a fucking day one patch where it's like, you got to get a 60 gigabyte day one patch, and we shipped this out last fucking minute because we need to get this game out, or Sony's going to fucking kill us? Because that's the famous thing with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, right? Is that the disc shipped out with fucking... Henry, how much was on the disc? Like 5 gigabytes?
It was nothing but the practice mode.
It was literally just the practice mode, just to teach you what the fucking game was. And the rest of the game you had to download to play any of the rest of the game. So I'm a little concerned about what this could be. I hope it's the first thought bubble, the nice one. That's like, oh, maybe it's something good and cool, and we can figure out how to make these huge fucking worlds in video games very small in size. Help us, save some room for other games and whatnot. But I have a really bad feeling, guys. I have a really bad feeling it's this other thought bubble over here who's like, it's going to be a huge ass day one patch. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Will I buy No Man's Sky? Absolutely not. Will I watch Henry play No Man's Sky and name a planet Henrysaurus? Probably. So, but cool. It's almost out. Never thought it would happen. So anyway, another big, and I think honestly the most important news this week, the U.S. government has tore a new one into Warner Brothers when they announced that WB Games did not properly disclose that they had paid YouTube and gaming influencers like PewDiePie to promote Shadow of Mordor. In the YouTube descriptions of the videos, there were written disclosures. However, when those videos were officially posted in other places like Facebook, the disclosure wasn't included. So they're really on WB's ass about this, and it's interesting because people like PewDiePie, like they're saying, one of the things I was reading was the video that PewDiePie did for Shadow of Mordor, it had like 5.5 million views or something crazy big. And, it sucks that, they're not being transparent with like their viewers and saying like, hey, like this is a sponsored thing and now I'm going to talk about it, yada, yada, yada. And, they sort of, have the written stuff, which is weird, like it's weird that the US government's like, hey, you did not do this properly, but they did technically do it on YouTube. So it's this weird thing of they just need to make sure like anywhere else that video goes up, it's like on Facebook, or like you need to make sure that disclosure's on Facebook and other places that you're putting that video up. It's interesting that they don't put that in the video itself, and I understand it's sort of like it's weird. It's just a weird thing, and what this made me think about is how angry I get when people are like, oh yeah, IGN got paid to fucking give this game a fucking big review and stuff. And it's like, when that shit happens and they don't give a disclosure, this big stuff happens. You know, you would know if, for the most part, you know, this was a couple years ago, so it took the U.S. government a little bit to catch up on this. But you know, they make a big deal about this when it happens, right? So you can't just fucking say like, oh yeah, IGN gets paid to fucking give all games fucking great reviews. Call of Duty, oh, that shouldn't be a 9 out of 10. Whatever, you're fucking playing Call of Duty right now. So just fucking stop assuming those things. That was my first thought when I saw this, was like, see, they're being made an example of and whatnot, and it's like a lot of honest people who are like actually playing these games and putting hard work and actually putting thought into the written reviews and stuff. You just assume bullshit because it's not the score that you agree with or whatever. And so that shit pisses me off. Don't assume shit, because when it actually happens, they get caught, they get made an example of. So, and it's not like PewDiePie is the fucking devil or whatever. And it's just like they just didn't do it correctly, and there's obviously some sort of, oh yeah, it's like this tiny disclosure very far away. I'll make a reference here to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where Arthur Dent, his house is being torn down, and he didn't know about it because, you know, the notice was in like this basement of a place that he had to like turn a flashlight on to like go see it. Like it was sort of like that. Like they technically disclosed it, but not in a great way. So just be careful. If you're making content out there and you're fucking lucky enough to be sponsored, one, why are you watching this shitty show? And two, just be transparent with your audience. That's how you grow an audience, and that's how you grow fans. Just be honest, and don't do this fucking dumb shit where it's like, hey, I'm gonna tell you that this is a great game, and then you have like the fucking evil overlords that is WB fucking like, we're paying you to do this, and then, you know, there you go. There you go. And that's the weird thing. This isn't the first time this year WB has been caught with sort of weird advertising things. On Twitter, WB had a picture of Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and there was like a quote from a person on Twitter that said like, I love this movie or whatever. And then you looked up that Twitter handle, and the Twitter handle did not exist. That person did not exist on Twitter. So it's just like, it's just weird shit, WB. Come on. Stop marketing your shit like it's good. Just make good shit. And it's not like fucking Shadow of Mordor was bad. Jesus. Anyway, speaking of WB, Batman Return to Arkham might be coming out in November. The indefinite delay is apparently due to frame rate issues. Whatever. I'm fucking done talking about this. Moving on, sticking with the Batman news. David Ayer, this isn't really news, but this is something I just wanted to rant about for a minute. David Ayer, the director of the upcoming Suicide Squad movie, which is weird to think about. That's coming out in like a month. That's really weird. I've always felt like that movie was years and years away, but, you know, it's almost here. It'll probably be garbage. Was recently in an interview saying that, quote, for the first time we're seeing Batman from the criminal's point of view, and he's freaking scary, unquote. Untrue. There have been plenty of comics written in the Batman universe where you're seeing things through the fucking villain's eyes, and you fucking see how terrifying Batman is, and you fucking see in like even Arkham Origins where like there are scenes where you're sticking with the Joker and you see how Joker sees Batman and all this shit. Fucking stop it. Stop it. It's not the first time. It's not the first fucking time. Maybe in the movies, yeah, maybe, but seriously, I don't know. It's something. It was a quote that fucking annoyed me. You know, it's just Batman's always scary. That's the cool thing about him. He's not like fucking like, I'm Superman and I'm really awesome. He's fucking that's his gimmick, man. He's fucked up and scary. That's his whole point. If he wasn't scary and fucked up in the brain, I wouldn't be interested in him. Anyway, to close out the news segment for this week, sort of the weirdest piece. In a recent case involving a man using a former coworker's Netflix login to access certain information on the coworker, the Supreme Court, the judges on this case ruled that sharing your Netflix and HBO Go passwords and other subscription models as such could be viewed as a federal offense. This led to the judges of the case toying with the idea of possible innocuous conduct, quote, that was innocuous conduct, like, quote, password sharing amongst friends and family, unquote, could be considered as a federal crime. So here's the fucking thing. If you don't know the word innocuous, fucking look it up. Or better yet, I'll tell you right here. Fucking harmless. A harmless conduct. A fucking thing that does not hurt anyone or anything and is literally the fucking password thing. Sharing your password. I understand it's sort of this whole situation of, you know, maybe you share your password and make some more money off of that. Like, oh, I'll give you my password, but you got to give me like $5 a month or whatever. I know that's a little weird, but to share your own account on Netflix or HBO Go, that's your account. You are free to share that with anybody that you trust that won't use that information, like personal information, against you, not looking fucking credit card shit or whatever, or payment bullshit. So it's weird that like your sort of property, right? I say that loosely because, you know, it's Netflix, HBO Go. That's not really your property, but that's your account. You should be able to do whatever you want to do with it as long as it's, you know, illegal and it's not going towards pirating shit. So they literally use the word innocuous, the harmless fucking doesn't hurt anybody conduct, but it's going to be a federal crime possibly. And although they did say this, and this is the thing that, you know, I'm a little like weirded out by this, but I feel like a lot of people are overblowing this or not looking at this part where the judges said that they said the facts and context will and should be taken into consideration for each case, right? So fucking if you're sharing your fucking Netflix password with your girlfriend, you're probably not going to be hit up by the fucking government and be like, hey, you're going to fucking jail. But it's probably going to be something like this original case where this fucking guy got fired and from a law firm and then wanted to start his own law firm. So he used his ex-coworker's like fucking Netflix account or something to access information to see like, I don't even know what kind of information would have been useful for starting his own law firm based off a fucking Netflix account. So it's like that sort of stuff that they'll probably go after. So it's a weird sort of decision that they made, but don't be fucking scared, you know, just don't steal people's information, I guess. Just don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Anyway, that was all the news that we had. But before we go, we have don't forget the little segment where I tell you about the upcoming movies and video games, sometimes comic books that are coming out this week. So you don't forget to go see them, listen to them, or read them. Only one thing I could really find noteworthy out today, Ghostbusters, the fucking remake, reboot thing, all female casts, whatever, is out today. And it's got 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got like a 61, I think, on Metacritic. So it's not as bad as I personally thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be like fucking like 5% on Rotten Tomatoes, like almost like fucking Warcraft level of terrible. But you know, it's not terrible. It's not super great. It just sort of exists. And that's, you know, it's not as bad as terrible, but it's a little disappointing for people who are fans of Ghostbusters. From what I've heard, it's fine, it's funny, it's just it doesn't have that magic of the first Ghostbusters and whatnot. And because comedy over the years has changed and it's just different from the original Ghostbusters. And of course, film has changed over the years. Fuck yeah, it's going to be different. So, you know, I imagine if you're looking for a lighthearted comedy, that Ghostbusters probably won't be the worst thing to go see this weekend. So there you go. Ghostbusters is okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been BzG News. It's BzG's weekly news show where I bring in all the crazy, fucked up, nerdy news, and I give my 2 cents on it. Remember, it's up every Friday, except last Friday, at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do I have any pieces of housekeeping? Let's see. Nope, nothing. Nothing else to talk about. I'm just going to stare at you guys for a second. Thank you so much for joining me this week. And until next time, people, fucking stay nerdy. I'm glad to be back. Thank you so much. I missed the show last week. I'm sorry that we didn't have it. And I'm sorry about the episode 2 weeks ago where I just ranted about Batman for 20 minutes. I'm really sorry. I apologize. But we're bringing it back. We're bringing the quality of the show back, people.